I'm Dr. Dara Bushman.
I'm a clinical psychologist. I have a practice in Cooper City, and I have my practice, and I also do a lot of work outside of my practice. I work with a lot of athletes, and I work with a lot of people who have endured and experienced trauma, as well as eating disorders.
Dr. Dara Bushman is a licensed clinical psychologist in private practice here in South Florida.
And National Board Certified Clinical Hypnotherapist. Dr. Bushman also has a clinical background in specializing in PTSD, health and wellness, and all kinds.
So they're eating and they're putting on weight, and what does everybody do when they feel guilty about eating a piece of key lime pie? They go eat another piece of key lime pie. It's for us to talk to our kids, really connect with them, communicate, ask them what's going on, and don't be scared. That's something I find in athletes and in people is the way that they're thinking about things. So when I would play tennis, I would be mortified. I would literally be shaking when it was time to go onto the court, or even when I was on the court.
Traditionally, when you go to a therapist, the idea is that you go repetitively every single week. But what I know is that if I were to go to a doctor and he were to say to me, you need to come every single week to get that ankle healed up, Dara, I would automatically feel very defeated and in much despair, thinking, I don't know if this is ever going to get better, which is often the message that's delivered to us in the therapeutic community.
You know, people ask me, what kind of work do you do, and how do you practice differently than other psychologists?
Yes.
And often I will say to them, well, I am National Board Certified as a hypnotherapist, right? And I also am trained in rapid resolution therapy.
Well, rapid resolution therapy is fast, effective, and it can happen in 1 to 3 sessions. So why wouldn't you do it? And it's painless. Going to therapy traditionally is about sitting there and re-stimulating feelings every single week, and they ask you questions about things that you're not even saying. They're asking you questions about things that you hadn't even thought about sharing.
If you do hypnosis, am I not going to know what's going on? And I explain to them that working with them, I feel that I'm taking them out of a hypnotic state.
It's getting you where you're present, and then you can talk about different scenarios and situations without the same emotion being caught up and connected with it.
So my job is to let people know that there's other ways that their mind can think of things and make that shift for them.
If to believe in it is, you've got to believe it to do it. So, and if anybody's going to believe in you, it has to be you at the end of the day, because if you want somebody else to believe in you, they're not going to unless you believe in you first.
Hey guy, you got to go change it at the source. People know what they're thinking and what they're feeling. Just like someone says, go get happy. They're trying to get happy, but where that switch is not getting flicked to be happy is below the level of conscious awareness.
But you would want to have somebody speaking to you right now with competency, not confidence. Confidence would be me acting externally okay and able to deliver you messages or in sessions with healing. You would want a psychologist that is competent, not confident, just acting like they can do it. If you're acting as if you're confident, how would that affect you as far as your competency in your ability? And you've got to practice what you preach. If you're wanting something else from somebody, you have got to be willing to do it yourself.
You are the foundation, and the foundation of you is getting physical, emotional, and spiritual balance. And as that's solidified, then other people can add into it. But what happens is we're often seeking out for other people to fill that up, and then you get a terminal case of enough-itis, where it is never enough and nothing is enough, and you get feeling lost, or you're feeling like you haven't been satisfied.
Expectations. This idea that you're gathering around the table and everything is supposed to be blissful and perfect, and the reality is nothing is blissful and perfect, and there's so many different personalities, and everybody has a different idea and expectation, so there's conflict.
Because how do you stay present in a sense with your food if you're focused on talking with other people? I mean, you get to talking with people and the next thing you know, your food is gone. And if we were to talk about intuitively connecting with what we're eating, you kind of need your mind to do that. I mean, you don't have to sit there and stare and be like, and thinking to yourself, okay, am I still hungry? Did the food kick in? But technically it takes 30 minutes for this part to catch up with this part.
But you know, they're young people too, and don't just think that this stops at women. This stops at young men too. The stigma is that it only is affecting women, and I mean, it's scary to tell you that probably about 25% of teenagers are being affected by eating disorders.
Wow.
And eating disorders is the highest mental health that's causing suicidality and deaths. Having a very clear intention of what you want your holiday to look like and how you want it to be. People are so busy rushing around, and then they're joined together, and the next thing you know, it's just mass chaos. But before you even get to a gathering, set yourself, get an idea created in your mind the way that you want it to be, and doing things that would be good to have done. So that way when you are connecting with people, it's in a way that feels genuine and authentic for you.
How we can really focus on us as women, not about what we aren't doing or how far we haven't come, but all the advantages and amazing feats and movements and advantages that we do have as well. And I ask you, what is something that you could do to disconnect from your everyday routine, just to give yourself some space to think about some ideas that you do want to do and how you can focus on you.
What could be the possible reasons that somebody with the resources, that someone like Kate Spade, we saw it with Robin Williams, who have the money, the resources to reach out to get help, why in many cases they don't get help?
Fear and the stigma. Because what would people think if they were to reach out? What would people think if they did ask for help? When people are in this position and they commit suicide, they are in desperate pain. They feel that there is no other way or end to put themselves out of the pain that they're feeling, and they don't believe that there is help or hope for themselves. They believe that it's better for their families if they were no longer there.
Mm-hmm. So sad.
sad.
So glad you.
So people process things in their brains all differently, and how everybody experiences a situation like this is different. It's bio-individuality. One person can go through a similar experience and have a completely different outcome, or have different symptoms or side effects of how it affects them moving forward. Continuously other events happen, and there she sees this man in front of her continuously, and she felt fearful. She felt completely re-traumatized. Yes, it's called survival. You do what you have to do to survive. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't always remember memories that are unpleasant to me. You put those in a space so that there's availability for things that are going on in order to stay present. The fact that you're sitting with us right now and listening to us lets me know that you are even farther ahead of this process we called life than you are even thinking that you are, because where we get stuck is thinking that we could be doing it differently or be ahead of it even more than we are. So where you are right now is exactly where you need to be.
All right. Dr. Dara Bushman. Amazing conversation. Amazing having you here. Such great insight, such great knowledge, such great wisdom. How can someone watching here today that clicked with you, how can they get in contact with you to take advantage of the shift that you're going to help them make?
Well, you can go to my website. It's drdara.com. You can Facebook me, Dr. Dara Bushman, or Instagram, Twitter. Again, it's Dr. Dara or Dr. Dara Bushman, and I will look forward to connecting with some new people.